What is up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. It's Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers that is co-sponsored by Dove Men Care and Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And with that collaboration, I was able to be part of a team that reached out to over 100,000 fathers last year around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Mr. Knight.
Good day. Good to see you. And for those that do not know who Mr. Knight is, my name is Ryan Knight. I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. The swag is in, so if you want to order it, actually, it's not quite on our website yet, but it will be soon. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage to figure out what stage they are in their business, help them create a blueprint to grow their companies exponentially. And I'm also an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detail Ignites. So we go to people's houses, offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water and our eco-friendly plant-based cleaning supplies. And like I mentioned last week and the week before, the show before, we are hiring. So we have gotten a few resumes in, some eager youth that are looking to work in the summer. So if you know somebody that had a hard time finding a job last summer, and you don't want them sitting around doing nothing with their idle hands, get them learning about entrepreneurship with our company, Detail Ignites, please feel free to reach out and we'll get it started.
Excellent. And just want to say, you are watching the Morning Vibe. We didn't even say that. So tell people. So myself and Ryan are on Monday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, coming up to our 1-year anniversary very soon in a few weeks. Sweet. And we've been doing it for a while. So we're having a great ride. And we are only doing it because, well, you enjoy it, first and foremost, the audience. Guests come on, enjoy it, and we enjoy it too. So it's a trifecta. Just want to say that this morning's broadcast is brought to you by the ACBN Legacy Symposium, which is happening February 24th and 25th this week, Thursday and Friday. And you can buy tickets if there are any left.
Last I checked, there was only 5, and some members of the ACBN team forgot that they have to register because there's a limit of how many people. So this might be sold out. So if you want to attend and again, work on your business with some great expert facilitators. And I always talk about stepping back and doing strategy and planning for the growth of your business. This is what the symposium's about. Definitely check out events.acbncanada.com right now. Grab your ticket. Because Eventbrite just locks it off. So there's no way to increase it. And the platform that we're using, we want to have a specific amount of people. So when tickets are sold out, they're sold out. So don't say we didn't warn you.
When it done. Right? Yes. When it done. So good morning to everybody. And just want to... Well, today is Family Day in Ontario. I know some provinces in Canada, they have the day off. In the United States, it's President's Day.
Right. So I know Nova Scotia, Bernadette out there was saying they call it Heritage Day. I don't know. So, like,
Okay.
I'm not sure, they call it different things across different provinces.
Well, good morning to Earl Anderson. Good morning to Ms. Fung, Olivia Fung. Good morning, Christopher Lawrence. And I saw some people showing up, so let's do it, and let's start right in the morning. Get it going early. To win a $25 Amazon gift card, please type in the morning vibe in the comments section on the platform you're watching. Qualified to win that. Also, frequency event promotions calendar. We're also giving away, and also Robert Small legacy poster. So we're doing
poster, yes.
Yeah, we're doing giveaways. People giveaways. Sorry, we're not like Ellen or like Oprah used to. We're not giving away cars yet.
Right.
Yet. I speak of the one day they were going to give away cars or something humongous, but we start and build. Start and build. So thank you for everyone who's coming and by. Oh, Angie, thank you for putting it. You know what? My goodness. Hold on, Angie. I just remembered that I had not put up the giveaway tool. So hold on a minute for everybody.
Okay.
I'm talking about something I haven't put up yet. Shame on the host. Okay, let's make sure I put it up, and that I'm not only walking the walk, I'm talking the talk, but I'm walking the walk. So let me just make sure it's in working order so we can get it going here. All right, broadcast, morning vibe. Okay, morning vibe. All right, people are putting good. Excellent. So we're working now. So what is going on? What's been going on, right? We since it's the morning vibe, we're just going to chop it up a bit. Anyone have any things they want us to chat about? Put them in the comments and we can chat. Do you want to start, Ryan, or do you want me to start?
Well, something that caught my eye was there's a big announcement last week, I believe it was Friday, with Mr. Ahmad Hussein, and talking about the housing. So
actually, just let me interrupt. It's the second housing announcement they've had in the last like 2.5 weeks.
Same month, yeah, because I think the beginning of February there was a $50 million announcement.
Yes.
But this one on Friday was specifically in partnership with the Black North Initiative and Dream Legacy Foundation,
and also House for Humanity, I believe.
Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat for Humanity. My collection. Go ahead.
Yeah. So them announcing this, they have a bridge program to help people get into home ownership, which is great. Looking to see like how it rolls out, and hopefully they can build on it. But what caught my eye is I get just random like Reddit alerts about topics, and so there was a conversation about the announcement, and the vial that was in the comments about the announcement from these people, just like, oh, why is the Black community getting funding? Everybody needs housing. And it was just on and on and on. I was sitting there, I was like, so if you look at the housing portfolio on a whole, the housing strategy for Canada is $56 billion. And they've carved out $10 million for the Black community. And white people have lost their mind. Like, totally off the rails. So, hey, the ones in the chat did not see.
This leads into more commentary too. Go on.
And so, hey, I saw pictures. I'm like, okay, it's all white people that are arguing in here. And again, it's some of them. But so that represents less than 1% of the money that's going towards affordable housing. And the pushback is so vicious. You can see why the Black community can't progress, because every time there's programming specific for the Black community, there is a small faction that's very loud that will push back and keep us from even getting any support. And this is where in the comments somebody had to chime in, and I'm not on Reddit, so I wasn't like commenting, but I was listening, and people were saying, but other white communities have gotten housing support, Jewish communities, Asian communities, all communities get support from the government when they ask for it. And so now the Black community is asking for it, they're getting support, but you don't see the type of pushback that you get with other communities when they're getting programming. So I thought it was very interesting. And then they talk about the wealth in the Black community, and we own like less than 1% of the wealth. And then they were talking about the billionaires in the world, and less than 1% of the billionaires in the world are Black. Just everything that they, because every step we take forward, there's so much resistance. And that thread just kind of showed me the type of resistance that we're up against for something as small. I felt like that announcement was not a big deal. They came out and said they're dropping $100 billion into the Black community. Then I can see where they're like, wow, why is the Black community getting so much support more than everybody else? But they just, like, it was literally crumbs based on the whole portfolio, and people are losing their mind.
Yeah, well, we have to realize part of our journey, continuous journey, there's always going to be opposition, right? Motion, as like going back to my old days of science, motion causes friction, right? So there's always got, and and I'm correlating this to what was going on in Ottawa over the last few weeks, right? And I remember some people were saying, you know, Dr. Vibe, if it was a group of Black people protesting, that wouldn't have lasted more than a day.
Well, did you see?
And actually, I saw a video last night. Actually, there was a conservative senator that was going off about, and it was funny. On one hand, he was supporting them, and then he said, on the other hand, well, my wife is a Karen. And I'm going, oh, wow.
Come on. You said that?
You know, it blows my mind how some people think they can do, like they can be on someone's phone video and not think that it may not go widely distributed.
Right. Yes. But this is where, because what I was seeing on Twitter is the Ottawa police pretty much they're tweeting out about the process. They're like, listen, if you're a protester, we're going to do this. And if you're a protester, you've been warned. And that shows the contrast with how they break up, let's say, Black Lives Matter protests. As soon as it starts to get out of hand, it's like, boom, shut it down. No tweets go out to warn protesters that are in a Black Lives Matter rally. The police just come in. And so is everything changed because people are in trucks? Like, I'm trying to figure out why this protest was so effective. And it's either because they're not Black or they're in trucks. And if it's because they're in trucks, I'm hoping the next protest that the Black community does, we go out and get some trucks and go park it somewhere. Because clearly they don't know how to deal with trucks.
Well, you know, and again, I just say, if it was people that look like us, how long would they have allowed that to last?
I was thinking to myself, did they forget how to use fire hoses? Because they typically pull out fire hoses.
Our ancestors have experience with fire hoses.
I'm like, all their tactics completely went out the window.
Well, I think that one of the concerning things about this Ottawa protests is it ain't over. And another thing that's really concern too is the amount of money that's coming from the US to support it.
Yeah. But but one thing that's interesting is they're freezing people's bank accounts. I've never seen that. So that is, and I mean, a couple, I think, some of the leaders got arrested, but they're showing like over 200. They froze the GoFundMe, which had, I think, close to $10 million in it.
Yeah, but what they did then is, I think they were starting to use Bitcoin.
Right. They should, and then they're trying to find, even people that supported the GoFundMe, they're getting backlash. And so now going after people's bank accounts because they're part of this protest, that to me is new. So I'm very curious how that's going to play out with future protests. Like, people are going to think, the government can just freeze all your assets now just because you're at a rally.
Well, it's really interesting. Just want to shout out to some more people. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, Sheraton. Good morning, Karen Rose. Second time you're here. Great content so far. What took you so long? I don't know. but we've been waiting for you.
Yes.
I don't know what took you so long, but we're here for you. So folks, please put in your comments what you think about this this alleged protest. One thing I do want to throw in, yesterday on my shameless plug here on my Black Canada Talking Show, which is on every Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m., had an incredible conversation with Jennifer Holness and Sutherland. I know, Ryan, you watched some of it, and they are launching a docuseries, a 4-part docuseries called Black, an Inside Story, and it's about the history of Black Canada. It was an incredible conversation. I've known Suds and Jennifer a little bit over the last years, and they did not play. They were really open about what it took.
Yeah, the process
and the pushback. And to get that going. So shameless plug, please, folks, if you are near your television Saturday evening, I'm going to find out the information out, but Saturday evening, and it also, I think the following week is going to come on Global. But
it was 9:00 on History Channel on the 26th, and then I think 6 on Global, either 6 or 9 on Global on March the 4th. So just for those like me that don't have the History Channel, because you're done.
I loved your comment. I have to subscribe to that.
It's for the weekend.
That was so funny.
But I find the History Channel, they talk too much about aliens and how they built the pyramids and stuff. I was like, is this like fact now that they think Egypt was built by aliens? Anyway, so yeah, if you don't have the History Channel, it's coming on Global on March the 4th in the evening.
Yeah, so we're here to support Black people. They're doing good things. They've been doing great and good things for many, many, many years, but this is a really big thing. And they even said also that they took less money to do this than they would on a project of this type. So they were willing
in size, because it went across Canada.
Yeah, there was a big passion project for them. So it was good. So we do have some comments here about the Ottawa thing. Angie saying is everything changed and is more effective because they are white. She also says some people can't see beyond themselves. That's why. All right, interesting comments.
I can see it in the comments.
Yeah, and two folks. Again, I really want to push. Put in hashtag the morning vibe. Press enter. We want to give some stuff away. Freddie King says, "Man, our country is going into dictatorship." By who? That's the question. By who?
They're clamping down.
Yes. Earl Anderson saying the last years have been an interesting view of what the government is about and reality check on the view of freedom. I think not only in Canada, but North American wise, because, of course, how many people can forget February 6th, 2021, right?
Was that January 6th?
Or January 6th. January 6th.
Yeah, the insurrection in the States. Oh, yeah. Man. Well, this is like, all they didn't do was go inside the buildings yet. So
they did go inside the building. They didn't get totally inside the building.
Oh, okay. They tried? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Angie, I'm glad the truckers are mostly white. They also raised a lot. Yes, there's a lot of money. Like we always say, I always say, follow the money. Follow the money.
Yeah, the money's coming from around the world.
Yeah.
And like the US.
So
and they're inspiring a lot of similar protests around the world that I've seen.
Of course. Freddie King says yes, freezing bank accounts. Yep.
Yeah.
So, we are, whether we like it or not, there's just, maps wise, there's a border between us and the United States. More and more, unfortunately, we're picking up the good and the not so good from that country. My thoughts. Just my thoughts. Yes. Karen is saying, rumors are swirling that very powerful forces, World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab has a lot of sway with truth. I have no idea who Klaus Schwab is, but I'm going to research who he is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen, for your second time on. You're bringing the heat. Love it. I love it. Bringing the heat. And today, folks, we're giving away stuff. Family Day. Well, we do give away all the time, but especially on Family Day. No excuses. A lot of people watch this morning. Thank you so much. Oh, well, here's an interesting comment. Justin Trudeau's behaving like a bully he is. He's a big fat liar, to put it simply. All right.
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. Lots of people have comments. So again, support Black and Inside Story by Jen and Suds. Really, really big. What else is going on in our world? Want to think about this. Question. What are you most excited about? Because we may not be live on Friday about the symposium.
Oh, good question. A lot of times I wear multiple hats, and the hat.
A lot of times.
So
a lot of times. Okay.
I want to be able to enjoy the symposium as an entrepreneur. Yes, we're part of planning it, we're part of executing it, but for me, I want to be able to start really focusing on the growth of Detailing Nights. So wearing that hat at the symposium, because again, Ryan's not doing any of the presentations, found smarter people than me to be able to come and teach us. So I'm going to be a student these 2 days and really take time to go and really focus. I got really good at being in like 3 Zoom meetings at once, and you're kind of just, the information's kind of glazing over you and you're not really focused on any one. So for this one, I want to be able to kind of cut out the distractions, focus in. And the way that it's interactive is that you're going to be working in smaller groups and listening to the keynote. So it's not something you can just have in the background and playing. I feel like, and hey, I'm guilty of that, where you're in the Zoom meeting, but you're not really in it. So I want to be able to focus on this one and really take away some good learning.
Excellent. So, okay, Earl Anderson, you spelled it wrong. You said the morning vibe. It's the morning vibe. V-I-B-E, not V-I-D-E. Please correct. Yes. We'd like to give you away some stuff. Here's us. Good morning, Dr. Vibe. Good to see that you're still broadcasting after all these years. I introduced you to Isis Brantley story back in 2012. Whoa, so see, folks, I've been around for a while. Since then, the state of Texas has passed HB 2717 to deregulate the natural hair industry. Maybe we could schedule a follow-up show. Absolutely, Jerry. My email address hasn't changed, but if you want, I'll give it out before the end of the conversation. More job. Just to be clear, the event is solely online. So your ACBN event is solely online?
That's right, yes.
Okay, good stuff. Dream Legacy Foundation, Philanthropy, Mr. Eldon Jr. Good morning. Great discussion. Tap into
Yes. Hey, we were just talking about you.
Absolutely. We'll do
great announcement on Friday. Huh?
Okay, we got Lies. Nice. Read the symposium. Okay. Yes. Jerry. All right. Jerry's put in the morning vibe. So from Texas, he got it right on the first shot. Now it's time for you, Earl, to get it right. All right. It's your time now. But so the symposium is going to be exciting. And your 2 key speakers. Well, you have many, but your 2 keynotes.
Yeah. And so there's Byron Nelson, which I'm a fan of because he's very driven. And I love hearing him speak because I always get excited. He's like my new Les Brown. I feel like those morning motivational.
Les Brown is by himself. He just make Byron himself.
True, but I'll say like I usually only listen to Les Brown, and so I'm starting to add additional motivational speakers. But when we talk about Dr. George Nelson, oh my gosh, Dr. George Fraser, that is speaking on the Thursday. He's our keynote, and we're actually going to try and figure out a way to live stream that part, because I feel like hearing George Fraser speak is something that even those that might not be in the workshops should get to hear. So actually, I'm going to talk to you about that to see how we can broadcast it out. Because just that message, and he's been saying the same thing for decades. And I feel like if we haven't,
George Fraser,
we haven't been able to execute what we know is beneficial for the Black community, something is flawed with our approach. So as many people as we can get to hear his message, I think would be beneficial.
Yeah, we're speaking it as much as possible that we're going to be able to live stream Dr. Fraser. And I saw him a number of times in the past. I actually saw him the first time he came here. and then another time out that, and I say I've got to check too, because I was said in the past, I actually have I interviewed him many years ago. Excuse me. And it was phenomenal. It was really, really phenomenal hearing his, and he's still as powerful and thoughtful today with the added evaluated experience.
Right. And that's where now you ask questions about what have we seen over the decades? Like what has changed? And maybe now you can kind of look back and say, okay, we tried X, Y, and Z. Now that we have that information going forward, we can do kind of do better. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy hearing his perspective on how we're doing.
Sorry, Jerry, that's Dallas. Sorry, I got it incorrect. All right, Dream Legacy saying, philanthropy saying, can't wait to tap into this year's Legacy Symposium. The speaker lineup is top notch. We have some true stalwarts. Absolutely. And Olivia saying, haven't seen Byron in a while. And Angie saying, Klaus Schwab wrote the book on how to lead the way Trudeau's trying to lead dictatorship. Okay, so we know where Anne stands with Justin Trudeau. Absolutely, we'll have to put that down. But yeah, so going, like we said, we're looking to see if we can live stream some of the symposium via this platform coming up this week. But if really the best thing is buy a ticket. Really, that'll guarantee you.
Yes.
We can catch the whole thing. So symposium, talked about Ottawa protests. Anything else going on in this alleged world?
I am not too versed in what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, but I heard something very interesting. One of the Russian diplomats was on a talk show and he was talking about, so they've put military personnel in position around Ukraine. And so he says, we've removed a few troops and nobody has said thank you to us. I'm like, is this what like abusers think in their mind? Is like, oh, but I didn't punch you today, so why aren't you thanking me? You know, like and he was very serious. Like it was not a joke. And he mentioned that the reason that they want to invade is because the Ukraine is getting closer to joining NATO. Again, I'm not versed in that whole
politics.
Right. But it was just so interesting perspective because I haven't heard a lot of Russian diplomats talking about their reasons for going into Ukraine. You just kind of see them positioning themselves and then it's feeling inevitable. And the way that the media is covering it in the US is like any day now, Russia's going to attack any day now. So he said, hey, they should be thanking them that they removed thousands of troops, even though there's 100,000 around them right now. That was too good.
Hilarious. No, that's a whole other conversation in itself in regards to aggression. Wanna come back to the housing announcement for a second. And I've heard good. I've heard some people saying not so good. Hold on here. Someone has put up something. Okay, so that you can answer this question. I was going to go down the road of the housing announcement, and also I am trying to get the Minister of Housing and Inclusion on. Minister saying in that regard. But let's go. Andrew saying Les Brown is in a league of his own. So good, absolutely. And IPTV. Haven't heard much on the Black Entrepreneur Funding Program and Loan. Have there been updates? Have the organizations received their funding dollars and loans? Ryan can answer that.
I can. So if you've been coming to our, even watching the Morning Vibe, you'll know that now there's multiple Black focused loans. So when we're talking specifically about the FACE Coalition loan, which is part of the federal Black Entrepreneurship Program, what's been reported is about $10 million that have flowed out. So some people are getting money. If that's based on everybody getting the max 250,000, there's not a high number of people getting money. But if let's say they're the 50,000, 100,000 range, sure, that's a good amount of people getting money. Maybe like, what's that, like 100? If it's around 100. Yeah. So the number of people getting funding hasn't been released. only the approximate amount of dollars flowing out. So all that to say, you're seeing now CIBC, RBC,
Bank of
and Bank of
Montreal.
Montreal all create their own similar programs. So we have to ask ourselves, why are they not running those programs through Face? Something there is not working. So hopefully the banks haven't stepped away from the table completely. What they'll say to your face is that they haven't. But they will say that they haven't.
They don't have to. They don't have to. Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. What they're doing is showing that they're not working through Face or any other Black organization. They might have partnered with them, but the Black organizations aren't running the loan program. And so, yeah, I mean, hey, it's good that there's options.
This is a very interesting case study, right? Have an organization starts this program, financial institutions put their support behind it. A few months later, all the institutions have put their support, start their own.
And the exact same program.
Basically the same type of program. Yes. But what's even funnier about is now they're all competing with each other. Really? They're going after the same market, aren't they?
Yes, exact same market.
Competing against each other, which just causes more confusion.
Right.
Because people go, well, I'll just, because, got to put, I'll put it here, got to try. And then the low percentage of people I think will get those loans. And then people got to relook at the terms of those loans. I'm not going to get into specific banks, but really look at the terms of those loans. Know what you're getting yourself into. That's all I'm going to say.
Something that sticks out is what you're using the money for is important.
That's the key thing.
Yeah, there's different terms for if you're using it for equipment or leasehold improvements, or if you're using it for working capital. And so you see, I think it's with CIBC and RBC, if you're using it for capital, for leasehold improvements and equipment, you can amortize it. Well, the loan period is over 10 years. But if it's for working capital, I think it's 2 or 3 years. So, and you can't get the max amount. So if you're doing equipment, you can do it up to $250,000. If you're only doing it for working capital, it's up to $50,000. So what risk are the banks really taking with this program?
More importantly, what risks are the people applying? Are you willing to take, and are you leveraged to take those risks?
But this is what I'm saying. Like, you can go to the bank already and get secured loans against your equipment. Like, the government of Canada has a program about that already. So this is where they're creating things that already exist that the Black community has had trouble obtaining.
Well, we'll leave it at that but we'll go into, because people have more. Now it's IP. Has it actually hit your bank accounts? Again, Ryan, you may be able to speak to that in regards to the organization.
I know at least 2 people that have got the money.
No, but I mean, I think what IPTV Addict is talking about, the organizations, has the money hit their bank accounts? Not.
Oh, well, the loan program is through Face. Are you talking about the ecosystem?
No. What I think, and IPV Addict, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but what I think they're asking is the money gone out to the Black ecosystem partners? Has they received any money?
Yes.
That's what I think they're asking.
That started to flow, yeah.
Okay.
Because ACBN's one of the recipients, and we've started to get money, but not all of it. So it's a 1.3 million over 3 years, and then each fiscal year has an allotted amount. So the first fiscal year, we're just wrapping that up, and then the second fiscal year should start April.
I was waiting for someone to bring up this point sooner than later, and we've known about it back end for a while. Good morning, folks. Is it true that there's a legal battle with Face? Yes, there is.
That could have been avoided. Let me just put my check mark beside. This is completely unnecessary, but it is official that the legal filing has been
there is
done.
And I heard rumor that there's actually a second one. I've heard rumor too now.
As soon as there's one,
it's going to be
that complaint the person has,
Yep.
has been happening multiple times. So if they see this precedent of putting in a complaint through a lawsuit, the other people that have the same complaints, I could see them doing the same thing, especially if Face does not respond accordingly and loses this case for any. There could be it's not a strong case, I would say, but if it gets like to trial and actually goes through due process, that might spark other people saying like, hey, this is a path that I think the person sued for $1 million. So now Face only gives out, I think, 250,000. People are going to think, and if this was the US, then they could, oh my gosh, the gentleman from Dallas can tell me if I'm wrong. But if they see a smoother path through litigation, that's probably what they would do. I don't know about in the Canada if it's going to be as effective, but yeah, in the US, if you lose a lawsuit, God help you.
Well, I think it's very interesting why it hasn't got to the mainstream media. Because usually,
that's the question.
And so we're talking about it now. Well, to be honest, Ryan and I have known about this for a little bit, and I'm interested to know why it hasn't got to mainstream media yet. But let's put it this way: if the litigation continues, I have a feeling it will get there. So
yeah, that it'll be unfortunate because, like I said, it's something that could have been avoided, so it didn't have to get to this point. And when you talk about a lawsuit, it can get so mucky. Like it's just not the way to deal, especially I feel like the Black community kind of stays away from litigation because we figure that we can sort things out. And so now when you get very black and white and arguing points in a legal situation, relationships get destroyed. Like there's no coming back from stuff like that. So
and you know what? It affects all of us.
And this is what we're gonna see playing out because how Face defends themselves. For me as an entrepreneur, I'm gonna see myself in the position of the entrepreneur in the case. So based on how Face is treating that entrepreneur, I'm gonna be kind of putting myself in those shoes. But on the flip side, because we also run an organization, I can also see through the lens of the organization and an entrepreneur suing us. And it's like the way that the entrepreneur attacks Face, that is something that's possible that could happen with an entrepreneur attacking our organization. So from both sides, you're seeing the worst case scenario, really, either as an entrepreneur or as an organization. So man, it's not something that I wanted to see.
So more jobs is saying with the increase of business starting and failing, is there a way to advocate more grants versus loans? I feel with loans as a new business with no mentorship, a business potentially fails before scaling. Great point. I think what I'm going to say is, why aren't we supporting our own? Why can't we do it with our own money? Because and we've mentioned it before, the grants thing, it's a wonderful thing, but there are so many people competing for grants. And to be honest, a lot of times the same people are getting grants over and over and over again, which leads into another conversation where some people are saying, yeah, the people are getting grants, where are the receipts? That's a whole other, and that's another conversation. Like, what are they doing with the money? What's the accountability? And I think there needs to be an overhaul, in my opinion, overhaul the grant system. There needs to be a total overhaul of that, but that's another conversation. Ryan, your thoughts about that? About grants versus loans?
Typically, there are not a lot of grants for for-profit companies. And that's where when I meet an entrepreneur that says, oh, I don't really want loans, I'm looking for grants. And I typically ask like, well, how many grants have you gotten? And it's 0. So grants up to a certain point are not even an option. Now we're seeing a few more grants coming out. I think Black Opportunity Fund, they've done one before, and now they're doing another one with CIBC. The investment readiness program that I talk about a lot, that's going to renew soon. Well, it renewed and it's going to open back soon, where you can get 10,000 to 100,000 in grants for your social enterprise. So these are new, and I would say, yes, definitely go for them. But when I see an entrepreneur resistant to loans, you have to ask yourself, are you not confident in what you're able to do with the money? Because the only reason that you would bring on capital is to improve your business so you can increase sales and grow the company. If you take on a loan and you can't grow the company, then yes, that loan was a bad idea. But if you're able to leverage that capital to grow the company, then really a loan you're going to be able to get a lot quicker and you can grow your company faster. And I would say try not to grow your company with your savings because you want that to be that cushion in case something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The grant conversation, I almost feel like people use it as a crutch because they don't have to pay it back. So if you're not confident in your business, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to grow my company, but I don't want to take any risk. So let me get a grant. That to me is not the way to run your business.
Unfortunately, some people take a grant as, and like I piggyback with this, I got free money, I can do what I want. Hold on, you're still running an enterprise. There's still a bottom line. That money's not there to waste. That money is there to invest. Even if you're a nonprofit, you still have to have your business running properly. You need to have regular meetings. You need to have do your audits. You need to have, again, we've talked about this in the past, but I'll bring it up again. A lot of the businesses that people like us start, we don't think about sustainability.
Right? People think usually just themselves. Like, how can I pay my bills?
Yeah. But, I think, there's organizations like Ryan and a number of the other ecosystem organizations can educate you on having a sustainable business. No, a sustainable business. I just want to go there in regards to that we really, we're talking, look, like it or not, folks, we're in a capitalistic society, right? Capitalistic society. So if you want your business to scale up, you got to play chess, not checkers. Let me just put it that way. All right.
Well, so you can play checkers, but everybody around you is playing chess.
Chess, exactly, right? So the comments are flying in. So here we go. We got family day. Everyone's at home, so they're ready for us today. Karen saying, sounds like an accounting issue in the making. Reblock organizations not running the program. The banks can do this, and the grant now becomes a loan. Interesting point. Well, I will say to that, a number of years ago, I was having a conversation. I won't say the person's name, but he's a gentleman that has been involved in the Black community, philanthropist. If I said his name, everyone would know. I'm not going to say his name because I want to respect him. And myself and another associate were sitting with him, and we got this subject. I may have mentioned this before about Black people and money. And he just went, oh my God. And like, he's a prominent Black businessman himself. He said, oh my God.
Yes.
And I'll give you a situation that he gave to us. And I got to be really careful on how I put this. Let's just say he made a donation to an organization. And then a few weeks ago, they wanted something from him. And they asked if he could pay for it.
Again, right?
Yeah.
But that's where people get comfortable in the free money,
right? So IPTV addict. Also, the nonprofit sector is wondering if they can't get it. If they can't get this in, will these programs be available for nonprofits? I don't know enough about Ryan's. I don't understand the question clearly. Also, the nonprofit is wondering if they can get in the game. So I think what they're asking is there going to be money grants available for nonprofits? There is, but there's so much competition. And I will say another thing. If you don't have good skills writing a grant, get someone to do it for you. But again, grant writers have become a very hot commodity, and they're charging what they want. A few weeks ago, we had Station on, who used I know she's been writing nonprofit stuff for a while, grants
and teaching
it. She said, did she say now she wouldn't even touch anything over a certain amount of money,
like under 10 grand? Like she's like, listen, 300 plus,
and how much she's gonna charge for that. But again, you have to realize just because it's free money don't mean you don't have to invest money.
Right. Yes.
Just a thought. Olivia Fung saying, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, you're probably talking about the lawsuit. Liquid. Then is it wonder why the banks are taking control of these programs in capital letters? I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Well, and oh man, that's the ripple effect that we didn't want to see, because the program gets launched. And look, I was talking about the announcement for the housing and the response in Reddit with these people in the country that don't think Black people should be getting any extra support. So now on the loan side, this Black entrepreneurship program, you have the loan program, and it's not running as smooth as it could be. This is where this faction of people are going to jump. And like you said, I'm shocked that it hasn't really hit the news or mainstream, because they're going to jump on this and see, that's why we can't trust the Black community with $300 million. The banks with their actions have said that. They're like, listen, we don't really trust you to run this program, so we're going to create it ourselves. And here we are. So now when we go back to the government, what do we have to
what are the receipts?
Report. Yeah, the report is not great. Now the report is 3 out of the 6 banks that we initially did this launch with have broken away and launched their own program. And how do you explain that? Nobody wants to take accountability and explain why.
It's not a good look. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, remember, too, banks, they only have to answer their shareholders. The government has to answer to voters. That's right? True. Big difference.
But this is where nobody's holding even the government accountable, because why are the banks allowed to do this? September 2020, which is like 18 months ago, made an announcement that the banks were going to support the Black community through this lending program. And they've completely, like, that announcement is almost a complete lie now. Like, it didn't happen. So who's calling your MP to say, you guys are not being truthful with how you're supporting the Black community? It did not happen the way that you announced it, and they should be held accountable. But when Face won't tell us what's going on, the banks won't tell us what's going on, the government won't tell you what's going on, we don't have any information to make an informed plea like that, to say like, hey, this is flawed. How do we fix it? Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing.
They're just doing their own thing.
Not transparent. You can't get the criteria from the banks because they're like, oh, we can't tell you how we judge business plans. I was like, listen, do your thing. But I see on your website, you guys are not partnered with the ecosystem. To me, that doesn't make any sense. And I told RBC Direct, if you go onto their website, same with Bank of Montreal, they're not engaging with this federal ecosystem of 30 plus Black focused business organizations. And what is their reason for that? Sure, they've picked a couple, hey, Black Opportunity Funds working with CIBC, the Chambers working with CIBC, BBPA, and I think BOF again are working with Bank of Montreal. That's nice.
At least they're doing something. They're not doing nothing. But I think to me the major area of concern is that the organization, the Black organization that was put in charge first.
Right. Exactly.
That's where my concern is. Like, the banks saw opportunity, so they're taking advantage of it. They say, hey, this arrangement isn't working out. Hey, let's start our own and see how we can help and serve. Again, we haven't mentioned we're giving away stuff, folks. We're giving away posters, calendars. We're giving away gift cards. We're giving away posters. Wherever you're watching this live, hashtag The Morning Vibe. Put it in your comment section of whatever platform you're watching this on. Press enter. We're going to be giving away stuff. So let's go to.
Well, hold on. While you're pulling that up, I want to touch on why I think it's important, or why I think it's a mistake that these organizations select individual Black organizations, because and I talk about it with tokenism all the time. They find a couple organizations in order to work with instead of the ecosystem. Like, you can't cherry pick and just pick one Black person or one Black organization to work with and say that you're covering the entire Black community. You have to be understanding that working with the entire ecosystem is a better path to go. So, hey, we shall see.
All right, let's Damian Smith watching on LinkedIn. What about the micro discrimination and the racism that some businesses are now practicing? That's been going on for a long time. But that's another conversation in regards to, we need to bring in someone who's a D&I expert on our platform. I have someone in mind, but she probably is way too busy. But we need to bring someone talk about D&I. We haven't had anyone on the platform.
Yeah, you should reach out. We should reach out to Evelyn Murray from Hamilton.
There's a few people.
Yeah.
There's a few people.
Oh, and like Sophia that used to be with Beacon, and now they're part of Walmart's D&I.
So Dream Legacy Foundation, have folks heard about the new series coming out on CBC tonight? It's called The Porter. This is another interesting thing.
I saw the commercial for it.
I just heard about it. Now, Now here's a question. So Black and Inside Story is coming out on Friday. They reached out to me. All right. I just, if it wasn't in my Twitter feed, I would have heard nothing about a little bit about the Porter. So my question is, and interesting enough, I'm going to just add another layer to this. The PR company for Black and Inside Story is a Black PR company. They reach out to Black media. So they were on a Black media platform yesterday. This is what I've heard from CBC. Nothing.
Was that nothing? Jeez. All right. I feel you.
Right. So I'm just saying I heard about the series, but I will, again, full props to Convo Media. They reached out to me saying, hey, we'd like to have Jen and Suds on the platform. They were on. They were fantastic. And just to add to it, myself and Suds, we had an hour-long conversation after that, talking about potential collaboration opportunities. So after we had the live conversation, him and I were online for an hour outside the conversation chatting about this. So again, I'm just going to leave it there. That's all I can say. I heard about it, but not to toot my horn too much. I've been around for a while, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And I don't know how I feel
Dream
about...
Legacy, The Porter Monday Night is the largest Black-led production in the history of Canadian TV, and it tells the story of a portion of history that has been ignored to put Black. Well, it sounds very. Sounds a little bit like what Black and Inside Story is doing, but Black and Inside Story, they went to the Maritimes, they went to Quebec, they went to Ontario, and they went to Vancouver, and they interviewed people in all those regions. So nothing against the Porter. Yes, it's historical, and I guess it's a different lens because they're going to talk about something historical, whereas Black and Inside Story is going to talk about current day experiences and getting historic from that end. So I think both productions have their value. So definitely support. I will support what I can, both of them.
And I don't know if I read into the trailer wrong, but they have the Porter like he's a smuggler of prohibition alcohol?
Don't even know.
I hope I got that wrong.
Okay, so Jerry Russell from Dallas, let me get it correct. Network with Black-owned media. There is power in numbers of media personalities talking about a topic. They won't be able to ignore topics that affect Black communities. Agree with you on that if it's Black-owned. Because even so, in the United States, people may or may not know about BNC, called the Black Network Channel. The faces of it are Black, but the gentleman who owns it isn't the same guy who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL. He's a Middle Eastern background.
Gotcha.
So it's who makes the final decisions. But Jerry, great point. That's why we need more Black-owned media. And for example, what's his name? Used to be on CNN all the time. Martin. Roland Martin. He has his own channel online, fully supported, and it's free to join.
Right.
Free to check out the content. Let me just Wow, the comments are flying in today. Do you have a meeting at 10, Ryan?
Well, yeah, ish.
Okay, we'll start picking it up.
Yeah, not a hard
So
stop.
let's go. Liquid Green. Who or what organization when the black men are going to hold the government and the banks accountable? Interesting comment.
Very interesting.
That's one of the key questions. Tell us who you think should do it.
And if there isn't one, we need to create it.
That's why your upcoming symposium is so important. Their support for symposium. Angie's saying, yeah, a lot of black people were blind to his racism and just looked at the money. They looked at him like he is his father. He is not the father. Trudeau fooled a lot of. So you, Angie, you and Trudeau got to get in the room together. Okay, Kiki man. Ojo. Yes, I tried a long time ago to get Kiki on the platform. I basically got an email back. She's too busy.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
Yes.
She's too busy. Yes, I think Kiki Ojo could cover the. Yes, she could, but it just basically seems that I'll see if I can reach out again in front. But this is a number of months ago, and they told me she's too busy. Call out the banks that did this RBRC and others. No, we've had them on. We've had some of them on.
Yes.
Dr. Boyce Watkins. Yes, he is very hard to get for an interview, but Dr. Boyce Watkins has a lot of very interesting say, not only about wealth, but the black condition, period. I've tried once or twice to get on very hard, but he is following me now on YouTube. So it's a start. It's a process.
Okay, nice.
Angie, you're in a good mood today. So CBC is trying to gain trust in the black community. Here we go. IPT. CBC, y'all need to be better at promoting and marketing series that are about black and racialized communities. They say they have a policy, but interesting enough, Sutherland yesterday, there was some policy that CBC released like 5 or 6 years ago. He hasn't worked with CBC since. So that must tell you something, that he hasn't worked with CBC for 5 or 6 years. Right?
You see that?
Right. Number one guy, Roland Martin, again, networking powerful black women is the next market. I received that comment. Very good comment. Number one guy, Roland Martin, again, networking powerful black women media is the next Marcus Garvey movement. I agree with that, because we have to control. That's one of the reasons I started this many years ago, controlling our narrative. Jerry, amazing comment. Thank you. That was a great comment. You know, accountability organization, UNPAD Push Coalition. Haven't heard anything from them in a while. I know about
they have been quite quiet recently. Yes. We have to touch base with Andrea and see what's up.
What's going? Yep. And then more jobs. I think bank loan programs are all our ways to generate income streams for blanks. Also to grab, click, and order business analytics. The banks are financially sound where they can provide grants. Good question. They do make a lot of money.
This is so important what More Jobs just said, because even with the FACE Coalition program, we have to ask ourselves, and you said it before, follow the money. Who is actually benefiting from these loans going out the door? So RBC, CIBC, Bank of Montreal, it's all money that's on their books that they're lending out and they're earning interest from. Even with the FACE Coalition, it's money that is going out through BDC and through initially it was the other banks, but we aren't benefiting on a macro level from these programs. Yes, the individual entrepreneur that gets the money is able to use it to build their business, and that'll have some ripple effect. But that flow of money and the interest being made on it and the leverage that you can do with that money that's in your bank account is not happening. And that's where it's so important to have our own financial institutions. And I'm glad that PACU at least is trying, the Pan-African Credit Union, to get something like this through FSRA and all these regulations, so that we have an option of taking our money from whichever organization it's in now and putting it into something that'll have a better ripple effect for the Black community.
What an hour. It's amazing. And community, family, you are on fire today. I mean, like, we just started. Okay, and Dream Legacy saying More Jobs is onto the racket. The real question is, how will the Black community use these resources to phone our own Black bank? one of the things I learned very early in my journey is that wherever I was employed, I took their ideas and formulated it into my own journey.
Look, can I tell a quick story?
You're the man who's got limited time. Go ahead.
I was watching a documentary about the gaming industry, and there were two gentlemen that were working for a company, and they pretty much got free reign. They're like, they can just work on what they want. They're coding and building games and testing things. They figured out how to make computer games, like the screen move like console games. You know what they did? They're like, we quit. We're gonna go start our own company, because they had this intellectual property, even though they were hired by a company to figure things out. As soon as they got that IP, they bounced and started their own company and made millions of dollars. Every time I hear about Black inventors or Black people coming up with the woman that created the GPS, we never create intellectual property and then fully benefit from it. We always create it for whoever we're working for. And then, the amount of money that you could have made knowing how to do GPS is off the charts. So all these inventors that we keep celebrating during Black History Month, we have to dig deeper to see how could we have used those or what supports need to be around these geniuses in our community to actually allow them to benefit from their inventions and actually own and grow with it. That watching that documentary just opened my eyes to how different communities move when they figure out that they have something of value.
Nice. Earl Anderson says, #building forward. Love it. Liquid Green Products. Hey, I won a few prizes, but forgot who to contact. We'll remind you in a moment. Yes. There's an individual, Jerry, again, thank you for your great conversations from Dallas. Killer Mike, yes, is behind the Green Bank. Greenwood is a Black and Brown-owned financial technology institution that specifically targets Black and Latino people in business. I am aware of Killer Mike and the Green Bank, yes. Mm-hmm. Dream Legacy, Black Canadian Credit Union should really be pitching Black communities, nonprofits, Black entrepreneurs, and NACO Fund recipients. Have them reach out to us.
100%.
Fraser Ramsey says, blessings from sunny Edinburgh, Scotland. More jobs. I think we have sufficient business on the ground to have a targeted meeting that has theme of actual steps. This is what I'm going to say to that.
Okay.
And Ryan has a feeling I know where I'm going to go with this. The three.
Yes.
Many of the challenges that many Blacks have come down to one or a combination of three things. Haven't had the opportunity to say this for a while, and I'm going to say it again. Trauma, repetition, symbolism. More jobs, great idea. But I have a funny feeling in my heart that there's too much trauma, aka lack of trust, egos, to have that targeted meeting come out with actionable, positive steps. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'll push back a little bit, only because we've had that meeting that More Jobs is talking about. We had about 400 Black entrepreneurs come to an emergency meeting. I think this was June of 2020. And out of that meeting, I do feel like relationships were built. I don't think we executed exactly what we kind of envisioned with the Black business community working together. But I feel like we're in the right, we're on the right track in a way, because we're talking. And just like Dream Legacy Foundation mentioned, there is players that we can pull together, but it takes time and effort, and we have to be willing to do the work. So
do the work and get your egos out of the way. And people need to realize, who are you fighting for?
Yeah, and whose problem are you solving?
Yeah,
to me is a big.
Who are you fighting for?
Yeah,
and we all should be fighting for the same group of individuals. We should. Not saying some of us are, some of us aren't. We are. Thank you, Dream Legacy. The morning vibe is on. I'm popping this morning. Great dialogue. Keep supporting this platform. Yes, Dream Legacy Foundation. I've sent you a message. We need to have a catch-up conversation. That is a great point. Damon said, IP, another good stuff. Hold on to your intellectual property and our data. Data governance is vital. Huge Point IPTV,
Right.
and I had that conversation a few weeks ago, offline, with a lady named Andrea Henry. She is a lawyer for entrepreneurs. I have
Right,
one of my
right.
clients that was looking to see if they can get help with holding on to your intellectual property. People, please do that. Right? Like
That's baseline now.
Ryan just gave that example. Those two gentlemen who had their intellectual, and they just bam. Intellectual property digital wise is like owning land physical wise.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, and just to bookend that story. So the two gentlemen, just to be clear, were white. Do you know it was a black man that created the video game cartridge?
Yep.
And just for his company created it. They're like, oh, we need this thing, and he created it. And now, if you can't even tally the amount of money that invention is worth. So the two contrast of, hey, black gentleman creates probably one of the most important inventions in video game history and earned nothing from it. And I didn't even know it was a black man until I saw the documentary. And then two white gentlemen working for a company, same thing, come up with something to increase the gaming industry, bounce, start their own company, and become millionaires. The evidence is in front of us of how we're not dealing with our IP right.
More jobs. I think we have civil business on the ground that have targeted me. Yeah, you said that. We need to know that we need to push forward from negative narratives. Yes, true.
Agreed.
If tables don't work, create more tables and find more players. Angie, oh wow, Dr. Vibe's so right about that. The trust factor is almost nil in our community. I wouldn't say it's almost nil, but there's a big challenge about that in our neighborhoods. Again, Ryan and I, it's not the beginning of the conversation. We can go back to community and neighborhoods. I think there's a number of neighborhoods. I don't think they're communities. We need more blank floppy. Agreed. In this day and age, should it really matter what color skin we are, as long as we do the job and willing to get our hands dirty and hard graft work all together? That is a whole other conversation piece. I in theory, yes. In reality, is it happening? For the black consultants on the call, plug in the Calabash Network. Yes, we've had Christopher on before. They have a mastermind event this Friday on collaborative business building in network communities. Black Union and more Black representation. Yes. With it being Black History Month, which is more highlighted in the US and Canada than UK, why is it that we're also defined by our race and color? Sad way the world is going. Well, all I'm going to say to that is those who control are controlling that narrative. So unfortunately, a lot of us are programmed. Last comment, and we'll do a giveaway. Should be a monthly meeting between African Caribbean, and African American business leaders to create rapport and trust. Once these three communities fall in love with each other to overcome the Willie Lynch legacy, will create world's strongest economic justice and culture box. Fully agree. Fully agree with that. I agree.
And this is
it's
where
just getting the people to the table. That's the challenge.
That's why we have to call out our own organizations, myself included, ACBN. We have to be meeting more with organizations, Dream Legacy Foundations on the call. But a big shout out needs to go to Black North Initiative. To me, they are the most resourced Black enterprise right now. And they could call this meeting with all the Black organizations. And I feel like they would get the audience, but they haven't made that. At least I haven't seen the invitation. So, hey, West Hall, I'm a big fan. I love what you're doing. Let's, exactly like that comment said, bring the other leaders of organizations to the table so that we can start building this relationship amongst ourselves and now grow together instead of just watching things happen from the sidelines. So that's my public service announcement for the day.
Calabash topic 1, entry into government. Canadian mandate letter, solution and consulting, more jobs. I've worked in the community for some time, and I've only seen one collective get work done. Yes, we can. Okay, shout out to Yes We Can. Okay, you said that. Breakout session, building team culture and mindset through Ubuntu with Dr. Mike Crawley from the Chi. Okay. Nice. We've got, again, I didn't know about the Calabash until just now you brought up again. I have a platform that can get this message out, folks.
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
saying, I'm just saying. And when I put it out there, it stays online. You have a place to direct it to, but that's okay.
Yes.
And last question, Ryan, are you in touch with Wes Hall?
No, I got triaged. I've only had one meeting with the gentleman, and I really appreciated him taking the time. And this was like 2-3 years ago. And now the Black North Initiative is not run by him. So it's like Dabo, and before it was Ian. So I don't have a direct line of communication. So anybody that does and can maybe ask on my behalf to say, listen, Black North Initiative could call this meeting of the ecosystem and get a lot more of the Black leaders in the community on the same page. I feel like that's they're missing. It's a missed opportunity if they don't. So, hey, if you're connected to Wes, send him my message.
Okay. One last thing. Dr. Fung, join the Canadian Congress on Wednesday. We'll be featuring the Honorable Don Oliver, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Senator Don Oliver, and there's the website address, CanadianCongressDiversity.ca. Okay, that's it. we went through a myriad of conversation topics and people. Look, first of all, thank you everyone who dropped by today. And okay, Angie said, I tried myself, no go. Yes. Okay, so folks, we're going to give you 1 minute to qualify for giveaways. Again, we're doing Amazon gift card giveaway, calendar giveaway, Robert Small poster giveaway. All you need to do, type in hashtag The Morning Vibe in the comments section on whatever platform you're watching. Press enter, and we're going to enter you into the draw. So giving 1 minute, I'm going to show you the giveaway tool, folks, what it looks like, so you can see we're not playing. All right, we're not playing. We're going to show you the giveaway screen. Let me just put it up. Bam. Bam. All right, giveaway tool is there. Actually, someone put in, since I was doing on the back end, someone put in their name, which is good. Fraser Ramsey again, and G. And Fraser won actually before, and he was in Scotland.
Oh, he's not in Scotland anymore?
He's still in Scotland.
Oh, he's still
he ain't gonna leave. He ain't gonna leave. He ain't gonna leave. Maybe there's less drama in Scotland than there is in Canada. So maybe that's why he's there. All right. Okay. I'm going to give 30 more seconds. Oh, hashtag them. Interesting. Oh, yes. I've been told. Yes. I got to do something before we do our giveaway. Someone has reminded me in the comments.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do this. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, 30 more seconds. Put in hashtag The Morning Vibe, and we're going to start giving away stuff. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 7 entries. Ryan, what are we giving away first?
Let's go with the legacy poster.
Fraser Ramsey.
And then I have to ship that out to you, sir.
You're going to have to do that shipping thing. All right. So, Fraser,
please
I know
email.
You one before, but I'm going to put it up there. You need to email your address to info@ACBN Canada. Fraser Ramsey, you have won the Robert Small Legacy poster celebrating Black Canadians. I think it's his 25th or 26th, 24th, 25th, 26th.
28th edition.
28th, sorry.
Yeah.
Undervalued. All right. All right, 28th edition. And people, you can still enter while we're chatting here, because you see, we're actually giving away stuff. You didn't think we were, but we are.
Yes.
For the first time. So that's the first person down. Next up, what's next, Ryan?
Calendar.
Jerry
I was just about to
Russell.
say, if that one's getting shipped down too.
So, Jerry, first of all, thanks for taking the time and thank you for your contribution to today's program. So, Jerry, what you need to do is send an email to info@Frequency Events Promotions. Say you calendar winner. You're going to have to give your address because everyone who's won a post, well, most of the people that have won a post have been Toronto based, which we are, but you are US based. But send an email to that address, give your full address, and they will ship it out to you. I love it.
Awesome.
2 international winners so far. And so that means Amazon gift card is last. Here we go.
Yes.
Christopher
Hey,
Lawrence. All right. So Christopher Lawrence, email info@acbn.com. So we got everything we need given away. What a conversation day. And I didn't know what was, I said, yeah, more people are going to be home, but we have international stuff today.
Yes. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate adding to the conversation too. That's why I love doing this show.
Oh, DLF, love the suspenseful music and countdown. Ha, great stuff. Well, don't want to bore y'all.
Yes.
Don't want to bore you all. We always like to keep things coming. What else we got before we jump off? I think that is it for today. Angie, Dr. Vibe, and Ryan, you guys are awesome. Well, you're awesome too.
Oh, thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the
It means
comment.
nothing without the
audience. It's all about you. Okay,
audience.
email it. So, Jerry, you want the email address again? And that was for
Jerry got the calendar. Yeah.
Okay, for the calendar, let me just do it. There's the email address, info@acbn.
Not for the calendar.
Sorry, for the calendar.
Yeah.
Sorry, the calendar is info@Frequency Event Promotions. Info@Frequency Event Promotions. That's where you send your information. You'll get that calendar mailed out to you. And I think the people at Frequency Event Promotion will like that. They'll get their calendar sent to Dallas, Texas.
Boom. Gone international.
Dallas, Texas. So there we go.
Love it.
Just gonna take any look, any more comments before we. All right, Liquid Refunds, great show. Doctor was great, and Ryan, you forgot Ryan's name. Olivia Fung says, "Happy International Mother Tongue Day." Like that.
Okay, I did not know about that. Gotta learn the Cree language.
Well done, gentlemen. The morning vibe is indeed a vibe. Thank you
Sweet.
so much. Well, all right. And frequent international territory. Yes, you're going international. All right, let's stop our music and get ready to call it a conversation. So great conversation today, folks. And we could not do it. And we do not do it without you. So we're going to say, as we start closing down here, you can catch replays of the Morning Vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show at Facebook and YouTube, and also the Afro-Canadian Business Network on Facebook and the Ryan Knight on YouTube. We're having some connection challenges with YouTube. We got to find what's going on there. But wherever you're watching us, if you can, follow us. And then you'll get, especially on Facebook and YouTube, you'll get notifications when we're going live. Also, thanks to all the people on LinkedIn. Appreciate that. Very, very good. And Fraser has sent his email already for his poster. So he says, you should be getting it in your inbox. That should be a nice little charge to send over to Scotland. But
I'll let you know how much.
Robert will be pleased for that. That's good stuff. All right, folks. This is it for today. Interesting. We will be back in some way on Friday. Whether it's myself live because Ryan will be occupied, or we'll be live streaming. Is George Fraser on Friday or Thursday?
Thursday. So
well, if we're able to,
yeah.
we will broadcast George Fraser on Thursday if we can make it happen, and definitely catch George Fraser.
Right. Yeah, man.
Especially George Fraser. He is he calls himself a New York gangsta. He was born in New York and he's been married to the same lady for over 40 years.
Yes. And that's
Right.
Thursday. It'll be around 9:15 a.m. Eastern.
Yes. So definitely catch it out. And then if we're able to do it on Thursday, we'll certainly be doing it again on Friday. If not, we'll be back on Friday morning. It'll just be me, or I may have someone come in, but if it's just myself, we can run it back like we did today, and you drive the conversation today.
Love it.
Any last things, Ryan, before we call it?
No, again, if you haven't gotten your tickets for the symposium,
Yes.
or you know an entrepreneur that you think should be there, please send them to events.acbncanada.com. Grab the tickets before they're sold out. Like I said, I saw there's 5 left, and those 5, I think some of the ACBN team has forgotten to get their tickets, and they might get locked out. So grab it before they grab it.
So what is the future of a team member that doesn't buy a ticket? I will discuss that offline. All right.
Listen, it's going to be a tough project management meeting the next week, where it's like, so where were you exactly on Thursday and Friday? Yes, they'll watch the live stream from Dr. Vibe.
All right, everyone. Have a great week. As we always close out, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions that aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Make sure, give yourselves grace. And finally, do not manage your time, manage your energy. See ya.